One. Hi, Hal.
Hi, Stan.
Hey, last week we talked about chess, and you know what we did this week?
We didn't prepare any notes about chess or any other subjects?
No, we played chess, remember?
Oh, yeah, I kicked your ass. It was embarrassing.
I had the best strategy, though. My strategy was the best.
Your strategy was sacrifice all of your pieces so that only your king is left.
No.
And then just move it one spot around the board for 15 turns until you finally submitted to checkmate.
My strategy was to keep saying check so many times that you got upset and quit and flipped the board.
Well, unfortunately, that didn't work because I did end up defeating you before flipping the board.
Yeah, but it was a king-to-king battle, so I thought that was fair.
I mean, it was a pretty epic fight. Hey, remember that scene in Braveheart or whatever your fucking favorite movie is, where the king and also the other king just take turns taking one step toward and away from each other for 45 minutes?
It's called a dance.
Oh, now it's romantic.
A dance of swords.
Now it's gay. which is
Hal.
even more romantic.
Welcome back to the Some Forever, Some for Better podcast.
I'm still thinking about that dance of swords. I'm going to reference this a lot this episode.
Our topics this week are from 1877, Balaghat. It's an Indian province.
Okay.
1980 is a history of Central Africa in the late 1900s.
That's going to go great.
Yeah, sure it is. And then the Wikipedia one is the American Republic Insurance Company headquarters building.
That's the one I'm most excited about for sure. I have prepared a podcast agenda today and we'll be taking minutes.
Oh my God.
Because I'm so well prepared. I'm getting really professional at this.
You look professional.
Well, you look like a mad scientist.
Not. Just my headset that makes me...
It makes your hair even fluffier than it usually is. It's sticking straight up to the
Dressed
sides.
like-
You look
Rick?
like Rick, or like the Back to the Future dude.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense, too.
Yeah.
I'll start with 1877 Balaghat.
Okay.
And this is in India, and I actually mentioned the name to an Indian friend of mine, and he's like, what? Where?
So it's really important.
It may not be. It's in the 1877 encyclopedia, which a lot of things aren't. It looks like it was just created by the British because they wanted to increase commerce.
So they wanted to go and steal more spices to not use in their food?
I think they were trying to exploit something, probably just the people somehow.
Oh,
They
well,
wanted
yeah,
to
that
create an
checks out.
economy and exploit the peasantry of the Wenganga River Valley.
Yeah, that sounds pretty British.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They said it was desolate and neglected until 1866 when the British came and said, hey, we're going to save you people.
Yeah,
But they said it with a British accent.
So they were like, oh, you fucking what?
Yeah, exactly, just like that. Oi, mate. That's all I can say. That's the only British accent I know.
Lost the ducks.
They said it was considered an impenetrable waste. I don't know what waste was. I think it might have been jungle, because it's jungle today. So I think it may be impenetrable jungle. I don't know why they didn't use that term. She's looking at me like, what are you talking about?
Just staring at you open mouth like,
It's in Madhya Pradesh, which is like a state in India.
Did your Indian friend also say what? Where?
Yeah, that's maybe the accent, though.
Okay.
It's in like the kind of center. It's part of the Deccan Traps, that area, which is a lot of that section of India is the Deccan Traps. That's all the massive volcanoes that may or may not have caused a mass extinction.
I love
Irrelevant.
mass extinction by volcano, and I hope for another one very soon. Of us.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone's pretty cool. Is that the one in like Wyoming or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
With the pretty rainbow pools.
Yes.
Aw.
Yeah, of algae and stuff.
Yeah, whatever. I want to go there. I haven't been like anywhere in between here and California. I guess I've been to Minnesota.
We talked about Minnesota. Did we go there?
No, we have to go there for that one bar or whatever.
One restaurant, exactly. So it does talk about animals.
You know, impenetrable waste is what I call Indeed.com and LinkedIn.com and all those other job search sites that used to have, just shitty jobs on it, but now it has shitty jobs and a shitload of scams.
Shitty jobs that you can't have?
Shitty jobs that, shitty jobs that are so shitty that I'm sure that they could exploit someone in the developing world cheaper than they could exploit me. But, it's all scams. No, they should just make it called shittyjobs.com, and that way at least it's honest. And then they should make a site called scamjobs.com, and that's when they steal your phone number and text you bullshit in hopes that you're stupid enough to give them your social security number immediately.
Perfect.
Tell me more about this place that your Indian friend doesn't know about.
So animals, in 1877,
Are they delicious?
It says a lot of wild animals ranging from the great bison to the fox.
Okay.
So this great bison, I wasn't sure what that was, but it looks like it's the Indian bison or gaur, G-A-U-R. I think you need to look that one up. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a cow with like...
You want me to look at a picture of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also look up nilgai, N-I-L-G-A-I.
It's too many at a time.
Okay, we'll do gaur first. I think it's a cool
looking
cow.
like this one.
Isn't it cool looking?
Like, it looks like it has, like, frosted tips.
Yeah.
And big-ass one.
And look at the one with, like, facing with the...
It's, like, enormous, and then just its head kind of at the lower middle of its
But it's got
body.
cool coloring on the head, right?
Yeah, it looks like I said, it looks like he bleached it blonde.
So that's native to that area. And also the
okay.
Nilgai, which I describe
Antelope?
as a fat deer or horse deer.
It says it's an antelope.
But does it look like a fat deer or like a horse deer?
It does look like a weird, like, steroidy, yoked antelope.
And also native in that area are tigers and leopards and peacocks.
Oh, I like peacocks. Did you know that peacocks go, meow? You would think that they would go like, peacock, 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 peacock. But instead they go, meow!
By any chance, was there a cat next to the peacock?
No. I went to a wedding in England, and we were like at the 5th floor of this castle, and there were peacocks on the grounds of on the castle grounds, just kind of free roaming. And during the speeches, we just started hearing and we weren't sure what it was, and then we figured out it was the fucking peacocks. They're so loud you can just hear them through a castle 5 floors up.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like peacocks.
Especially the meowing ones.
I love that they meow, and I especially love it when people bring them onto airplanes. Because you should. You should bring a peacock onto an airplane. You can bring your fucking dog onto an airplane, but I can't bring my peacock. Fuck you.
It's just... I don't think we have peacocks on airplanes. I've never sat next to
one. That one like white girl brought a peacock onto the airplane just to take advantage of. I don't even know why, but it was completely legal because of the emotional support animal laws. And literally anything can be an emotional support animal. It's such a... If you have $150 and any animal on Earth, you can just make it an emotional support animal and say, I need this because I have emotional problems. And you can bring your fucking liger onto an airplane. They had to adjust the rules after that. But I think it's like, how about don't bring animals into the human part of an airplane in general? Yeah. Unless it's this
Samuel
like
L. Jackson
unless
on that
it's
plane?
Unless it's this Indian wild buffalo, because that guy's pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't it? I thought that was cool.
I bet he's delicious. I bet he makes like a shitload of steak.
If they eat him or not.
I mean, why would you not eat an animal? That's what it's there for.
So in 1877, it said that 470 beasts and venomous snakes were killed.
Oh.
And I was between 1867
like
and 1868.
Species or just 470 individual?
Total. I think they ran something where you had to like bring the head of an animal in, and so 470 people brought them in. They're trying to civilize it like they do in the English societies.
Nothing that the British did for thousands of years makes any fucking sense.
And this was like lightly populated. 1877, it was 195,000 people in that area. And it doesn't say anything specific about Balaghat in 1980, but Madhya Pradesh had 41 million people, and the total Indian population was 550 million. And they thought that there were some population concerns that would increase to 1 billion by the year 2000.
Well.
And it did.
I mean, yes, well predicted, sirs.
And then, of course, in Wikipedia has 1.7 million is the number of people, and it's lightly populated for most, like, Indian places. Density is 180 people per kilometer squared, which is about the same as Michigan. Michigan's 174. And Mumbai is 47,000 people per kilometer squared.
So, you know how I don't do math on weekends or weekdays? Anytime you start saying numbers at all, in any context, I just kind of tune out. So I have a question for the listeners. On a scale of 1 to yawn, how excited are you when Stan reads the population of various places you've never heard of or been to?
It's just density. It's 47,000 per kilometer squared. It's pretty dense. That's what, when I go to India, that's what I think. It's just so many people. But this place is not. This is more of a rural area, mostly forested, like 70%, 80% forested. I'm going to something else because I'm not interesting you.
Oh, Stan.
They found a handsome Buddhist temple of cut stone belonging to some remote period. It's suggesting of a civilization which has disappeared before historic times. So when the British got there was this Buddhist temple, but there's nobody there.
Was this handsome temple a gentleman?
Yeah. And it's still not known where it came from today. They don't know the civilization that created. But if it's a Buddhist temple, I bet it was a Buddhist.
You know, I bet that there was, like, a guy who made the temple and lived like 1 kilometer away from the temple, and the British gave a single shit about the people they exploited. They could have just gone and talked to him, but they're like, nah, this is an abandoned temple and we'll never find out its origin.
It's uncivilized.
It's uncivilized. Let us bangers and mash it up. Fucking what?
And so in 1877 they were trying to create an economy. And I'm going to bring up that Marxism was just becoming ideologies during that time frame, right? Marxism, because it's significant for that region. India is considered a developing country. Per capita income was about $75 a year, just crazy low at that time.
I mean, that's like $750,000 of today's dollars.
I don't think it's not that much still. This is still like a lot of poor areas. There was rich people were very rich. The poor people were very poor.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, it's the same. It's like 30% of the population accounted for 60% of total consumption. Just incredible disparities between the rich and the poor. And that was before the IT had become dominant in India.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring up the Marxism is because this area is considered part of the Red Corridor.
Ooh, Red Corridor.
Red Corridor, which you know what that means.
Yeah, that's what women call their hoo-ha once a month.
No.
Oh, okay,
Nothing
I'm wrong. Okay, censor that. Producer, edit that out. Nobody said nothing.
It's a Marxist ideology called Naxalism. That's what it's in that area of India. It's one of the underdeveloped areas.
Does that word have an X in it?
Yeah, Naxalism, Naxalism, maybe. And the Ministry of Panchayati Raj names it one of the country's 250 most backward districts.
Most backward, so they built all the doors for left-handers instead of right-handers.
It means they're not
the toilets flush the wrong direction.
That's South America.
Yeah, okay.
In Australia. Literacy rate is only 78%.
That's higher than America today.
I don't think so. I think ours is like 90-some%.
I mean, being able to read emojis does not count as literacy.
And it has almost 30% of the population is scheduled caste or scheduled tribes.
What does that mean?
Those are the most disadvantaged socioeconomic groups. Those are the what would be considered untouchables, things like that.
Also known as who Amazon likes to employ for their customer service.
I don't think these guys even get out of there. This is really
exploitable people.
Yeah, but they are exploitable probably, and it's not a good thing.
Well, it's good for someone, Stan. It's good for fucking what?
So, you ready to switch topics? You didn't seem that interested on that one.
I mean, I'm pretty fascinated with your little anecdotes. No, I think that was great. That was very wholesome, except for all the parts that were very upsetting and
unwholesome.
Depressing, unwholesome.
Right.
Hey, Stan,
yeah.
Is the podcast recording?
I checked it, and it is. Once I check sure.
Are we sure? Because you looked pretty concerned there for a minute.
Well, because the screen went blank. And
well, can you make it not do that?
Yeah,
probably
should. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay.
So our next topic is the from 1980 Encyclopedia. It's a history of Central Africa, 19th century European penetration.
I don't like that the Europeans love the word penetration so much. It makes it sound like, I mean, like they're clearly insecure about something, which is why they had to go and fuck over the lives of everybody else on the planet. Europe, are you okay? Are you all right, my guy?
Yeah.
Hey, how's Brexit been?
A lot of things going on back then.
It's been fun for you?
I looked up Africa.
Just Africa? You mean that continent that Americans think is a country?
It says, this vast continent, though associated with the dawn of civilization with traditions and mysteries of most stimulated kind, has remained until recently one of the least known and both commercially and politically one of the least important of the great divisions of the globe. That's
According
what
to who?
1877 said.
Okay.
Yeah.
1877 said that?
1877 said that.
Oh, well, I mean...
The whole period.
Yeah, their only visits to Africa were exploitation and stealing people, so...
Yeah, you're not wrong on that. The map of Africa, it's not many countries. It's mostly, like, unknown. So the countries are probably different than what we would see today.
But that map is missing Wakanda.
Yeah, it does. I mean, yeah. I think Timbuktu was gone by that time as well. But it's like...
Timbuktu would have been a fun topic.
Yeah, we don't touch on it, but we get in that area. It's in some of that area. Because here's when you think of, when you were a kid, where are you going now?
It's like, okay, I'm gonna tell a story of how Stan almost lost his virginity. He went on a date and then he came back and his friends were like, "Well, so did you do it? Did you do the deed?" And you're like, "Oh, well, we didn't touch it, but we went into the area." And then he started to cry. The end.
The area was unrecognizable at the time.
It was unrecognizable.
It's unexplored.
Just wait until the Europeans come to penetrate it, and then everything will be illuminated.
So, when I grew up as a kid, and you heard about Central Africa, it was Dr. Livingston and Stanley, and Stanley came up and found him and said, "Dr. Livingston, I presume."
Okay. Is this another one of your cute little anecdotes from your life?
No, because that's kind of what a lot of the topic was. Is Dr. Livingston? He's one of the big explorers that they mentioned. There's three people we're going to talk about: Dr. Livingston, Stanley. Kind of.
Is that you? Are
it's
you
not
Stanley?
Me, but it's a really cool name, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very average name.
And then King Leopold II. You're going to talk about him as well.
What about King Leopold?
You don't want to hear about King Leopold.
No, King Leopold is the only person who sounds even mildly interesting.
Yeah.
What did he do?
From 1877, David Livingston, Dr. Livingston, is a medical doctor. He got his degree in 1840, and I have no idea what that means to get a medical degree in 1840.
I think it means that you can put leeches on people.
Yeah, leeches
you
and
can
bleeding
lance
and
boils.
humors. You're balancing that stuff out.
If someone's too sad, you just prescribe them more liquor.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, honestly,
you got a
still
bone saw, you can saw it
today.
off the body parts when they were failing or whatever.
Oh yeah. You just give them like a belt to bite and go for it. Pour some moonshine on that stump, you'll be fine.
I went through a couple things because in 1877, based on what we've read, I don't always trust that it's accurate. So I did kind of look up some things to verify it. He was part of the London Missionary Society and wanted to spread Christianity. He wanted to go to China.
Oh, that's always great news. And Christian missionaries want to go and penetrate other continents.
And they said no on China, said we're going to send you to Africa. So he went to Africa.
Exploitation of the desperate?
What?
Was it exploitation of the desperate?
I don't know exactly why it was sent to Africa, because it doesn't cover much about that, but he said he wanted to go to China, and they ended up sending him to Africa. And he wanted to explore and learn more about the natives to convert them, as opposed to just, take one at a time back and say, hey, this is Christianity. Are you a Christian now?
Well, that would have been a way more interesting story.
So he was attacked by a lion, which I didn't know that.
Good.
And his left arm was crushed, and it wasn't set right, and they were able to use that to identify his body after he died.
How did he die? Lion attack?
No, there was still residual lion attack.
Residual lion attack. Oh, let me get. So.
in Wikipedia, it covers more, and it says that the lions were attacking their livestock, and he was defending the livestock, and he got attacked. And then some guy tried to defend Livingston against the lion with a spear, and then he got killed. So the guy defending him got killed, and then they were able to fight him off.
That's not fair.
Yeah, but it didn't. In this one, in 1877, it basically said his arm wasn't set right after getting attacked by a lion. I'm like, is that true? I'll check it out. You never know these things.
It's really way more embarrassing than that. He was doing some fail army-worthy stunt. He was like, look at me, guys. And then he fucking... tries to swing from a vine on a tree.
Tarzan?
He's like, I'm in Africa. And then he lands in a crevice and lands on his arm. He's like, oh, God, this hurts so bad. Don't tell anybody that happened. Make me sound really cool. Tell him it was a lion.
Exactly. He did a lot of exploration, and he found the desolation caused by slave trade was more horrible and widespread than ever. And this is in the 1860s and stuff. It was like...
Well, yeah, they'd been doing it for a while.
Yeah, but I know it had been banned, obviously, in England and in the U.S., but it was still practiced by the Portuguese. They were still selling slaves to Brazil.
Well, Portugal did invent race-based slavery, so...
And it was like, he felt the Portuguese were still doing it. I don't think he claimed they weren't, but he was like, he was really, really appalled by slavery, really an anti-slavery guy. So his two main objectives of the expedition were the suppression of slavery by civilizing influences. He thought that if they could civilize that area, and civilization means English.
He was so close to meeting the minimum standards for human decency. He was so close.
He wasn't a bad guy. We're going to see a lot of really bad guys, but he wasn't bad.
I don't know, man.
You can fault him for wanting to spread Christianity as opposed to just making it better for them.
It's more like I'm going to save you by forcing you to be just like me. That is the white savior mentality.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I'm saying that he really saw the desolation and wanted to get rid of it. So.
Hey, let's start like a DC Marvel-esque knockoff comic book series featuring the hero Mighty Whitey, and he just goes around civilizing and liberating the Browns.
And he was also trying to find the source of the Nile. And it doesn't cover it in 1877, but in Wikipedia he said he thought that with his fame, if he found the source of the Nile, because Nile's been known since antiquity, he would be able to end the East African Arab Swahili slave trade. So he thought his fame would be able to allow him to end the slave trade. So he had good intentions.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, whatever.
I mean, it's not that bad.
It was less bad than other white men of his time.
And the other thing I had to check too, because it said that it was here, Nyangui, that a party of Arab slavers, without warning or provocation, assembled one day when the market was busiest and commenced shooting down the poor women, hundreds being killed or drowned in trying to escape.
That's a very man thing to do. Why do men love doing shit like that so much? Just go sit at home.
Well, it's one of those things. I never heard about this mass. I mean, there's a lot of mass killings and stuff we didn't hear about before, but this one I never heard about.
There's a bunch of mass killings we don't hear about here today.
And I did look it up to make sure it was corroborated in Wikipedia. said about 400 people were killed. This is mostly women at the market. They said a guy named Manila, he was a head slave, had sacked the village of Mahombo and the people at the instigation of Wayangu chieftain Kimberu. So the Arabs attacked Kimberu's people. That's what it says in Wikipedia.
Okay, so now everybody's really depressed. Is it time for an ad?
Yeah, I know, this is like, yeah, maybe throw an ad in
you're just
here.
like, let me tell you something that's just going to ruin your whole fucking day.
This whole
thing is
people that.
Are depressed and anxious because everything sucks. They want to hear like some cute little factoid, not, oh, hey, the world is fucking horrible and evil, always has been and always will be. Even though that is true, you're the one who's like, oh, I'm a stupid optimist. You should say something optimistic, because otherwise I have no role on this podcast.
This is going to be, this whole topic is just one thing after another like this.
Jesus Christ, yeah, I don't want to know this. This is making me depressed.
He's got two mottos. In 1877, his motto was fear God and work hard. And in Wikipedia, it was Christianity, commerce, civilization.
So, a bunch of C words like him.
Yeah. You tell you. And in 1877, he said he hadn't reported for 2 years, and it became a matter of greatest anxiety among all classes in Europe and America. And that's when they sent the expedition led by Stanley in order to find him.
Who's Stanley? Just a mononymous Stanley? Like
yeah,
Madonna?
No, his last name was Stanley.
Was his first name also Stanley?
Henry Morgan Stanley.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
wait, what is his name?
I think it was Henry Morgan Stanley. I didn't write it down for some reason.
Okay. You're just like, oh, Stanley, that's
such
my
a cool
name.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're like, the other names don't even fucking matter.
Yeah. I'll look it up at some point.
Oh, okay. Not now, though. Not for this.
A proprietor of American newspaper financed the expedition for Stanley to find Livingston. And in Wikipedia, it defines who that is. It was James Gordon Bennett of the New York Herald. And he also said the Dr. Livingston, I presume, was probably never said. That was one of those things to make the English sound like really cool.
All famous quotes aren't real. Right?
Yeah, he said, most likely, he said, oh, I see another Englishman. And then he just talked to him and
said,
hey,
most likely, he said, oh, fucking what? Whatcha wobble?
Let's see what else I have in here for this.
Fancy a shag.
Oh, also it said in Wikipedia that he was lost for 6 years, not 2 years. They had no contact with him from 6 years. And that's pretty much. He said he converted. So he was the leading Christian of Africa.
And yet none of his friends thought to look for him until 6 years had passed. Okay, if I go missing and you don't text me, be like, where are you at? In 6 years, we were never friends.
I don't know, because some
you
of
didn't
those
even
trips
fucking
took a long
notice.
Time.
That's actually my litmus test for how I weed out people who are never my friends. If I disappear for years and I don't hear shit, I'm like, okay, we done then. Stan, how long would you wait before, after I went missing? How long would you wait before trying to find out what happened to me?
I think 6 years is a pretty cool time frame. I think that makes sense.
That's probably how long I would wait for you too. Mostly because I would be just living my life, and then 6 years later I'd be like, what happened to that mullet guy?
Not here anymore.
Yeah, where's the mullet guy?
Weren't we supposed to do another podcast?
Yeah. I procrastinated so long I didn't even notice. It's like, how long has it been? Like a month? 6 years.
We should go look for her.
should go look for that woman with the silver mullet.
There's a couple of things. He was the one that found that Africa was an elevated plain with a depressed center. That's why they have these giant rivers. An
elevated plain?
Yeah.
With a depressed center?
Yeah.
That's what every therapist I've ever talked to has called me as in their official diagnosis. I'm elevated, however, plain, and I have a very depressed center. At the core of my being is depression.
And it was significant to him because he's looking at all these rivers. Like, he's trying to find the source of the Nile. He found this river called Lualaba, and they thought that might have been the source of the Nile, but then it goes into the Atlantic.
So
all these names are pronounced wrong. I'm sorry.
I don't care right now. What my question is, was there a reason that he really wanted to find the source of the Nile? Was it just the fame thing? People really cared about that?
He thought he could stop slavery with his fame.
Give me the logic. So
I don't know the logic.
There's no logic. So it's like if I find... Okay, so let's say that we go to a restaurant, we sit down, there's like some like hair on the table, and I'm like, oh, if I find the source of this hair, I'm going to be famous, and then I can stop slavery. Is that basically the logic?
Well, a lot of people had gone exploring for the source of the Nile, and nobody had found it
Why?
yet. Because that's what people did back then.
People were fucking boring.
Went to find the North Pole and the South Pole and climb Kilimanjaro.
And now just a bunch of fucking assholes with bad dicks doing the same thing to fucking Mars.
Yeah,
Leave Mars alone.
Mars. Yes.
Leave Mars the fuck alone. Going to try to do slavery on Mars. Fuck off. Hey, it's been like 20 minutes since we last mentioned how much Elon sucks. So just putting that out there.
It's been 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, that's far too long.
J.D. Vance thought he could use his fame from writing that Hillbilly Elegy book to become vice president. He did it.
Did I tell you that if I type JD...
Don't J.D. Vance me.
If I type JD on my phone, autocomplete suggests couch fucker.
Good.
Apple knows what's up.
Have you followed that to completion?
Let's play the autocomplete game. JD, couch fucker, fucks couches. Oh, is that a tautological argument? It's the storiest story.
Thanks for using tautological after I introduced that word to you.
I know. I wanted you to feel like you contributed something.
So, the Lualaba River wasn't the source of the Nile.
The Catawaba River.
But it did go into the Congo, which is the other giant river there, a huge, enormous river. It dumps a lot of water.
Enormous, big dump river, beautiful, huge river.
And back then they thought the Niger and the Congo were all the same river. They were still trying to figure this out. This place was really not explored at all. Unknown places on the map. I mean, it had civilizations living there, so people that lived there, but
they weren't white and English speaking. No, so were they really not. Civilizations?
Maybe not.
Whoa.
There's a guy named Cameron, was also explorer. He was
Cameron.
He's the one that found that the Lualaba was actually going into Congo, and the reason I thought about him was because of Cameroon. I'm like, well, is Cameroon named after Cameron? Answer is no.
Why? Okay. Just going to let you have that autistic moment.
Cameroon is the Portuguese phrase for river of prawns.
Tell me all the Portuguese phrases you know, Stan.
I don't know what the Portuguese phrase is, but that's what it looked up because I said, is it named after Cameron? And it was not.
Is it spelled weird or is it Cameron?
It's got the O-O-N. It's Cameron, but with the O-O-N.
Cameroon.
Yeah, Cameroon.
Cameroon.
I can't say that.
Cameroon. Stan, repeat after me. Cameroon.
I can't even look at you right now.
Can't look at you, the sun's too bright. Cameroon.
And we're going to get into King Leopold in a minute, but this guy, Cameron, signed a bunch of treaties with the natives in the area, the tribes in the area. And the British said, we don't care about that, which is going to be significant in a little bit.
I mean, I think I see where this is headed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, Stan, you are not good at PR for your people. All right, because you don't need to tell me that white people ruined everything. You don't got to tell me that.
There's specific people in this thing. Stanley has and I'm going to look his name up real quick. I think it's Henry Gordon Lightfoot, something like that.
It doesn't sound like a real name. So I wrote in my notebook here, podcast agenda, and all it says is beg for money.
You should do that.
So, we need... I realized something today while I watched a YouTube, and at the end he was like, thanks to all these randos who gave me money. And I was like, why the fuck don't we do that? So we need to set up channels for people to give us money for no reason. Do we have those yet?
We'll start it. We can start that.
Okay, yeah. I think you need to start a bucket for people to dump money into for us.
Perfect.
Just to support us, support your local podcasters.
What exit was that?
I don't know, fucking
podcasters.
Podcaster, Cameroon.
Okay, stick with that one.
No, we need some money because like we're gonna like make merch, but if the way that we do things continues, we're gonna talk about it for a very long time and then never do it. So until merch does or does not happen, we just need people to give us money for free. And you would think that'd be a bizarre request, but everyone on the internet does it. They're just like, give me money for free, and people do it. So we really need to. We need to set up a bucket for that.
They're all doing it. You should do it too.
Yeah. You say, throw some pennies in our wishing well. You know, give us $100,000 in Patreon. Like and subscribe. See, we told them to do it. Now they have to do it.
They have to do it now.
American people are very obedient. So, okay, you set up that.
So it's Henry Morton Stanley, not Henry Morgan. So Henry Morton Stanley.
Oh, well, I care slightly less now.
The only real significant part of that is his last name, Stanley.
Yeah, honestly, I agree.
Really, really cool.
His name should have just been Stanley. And the fact that his parents missed that opportunity makes them losers.
Yeah, I agree. He's not in 1877 encyclopedia because most of his work was done after that. I mean, he found Dr. Livingston, I presume, in like 1872, I think it was. But the stuff he did exploring and then was later on. So he traveled down to Lualualo to find to the Congo to navigate that, and he had to go through several cataracts, waterfalls, and he named the biggest one Stanley Falls.
Okay, what a narcissist.
It's no longer called Stanley Falls. I looked that up at Wikipedia. Now it's called Wyoma Falls.
Well, if it were still called Stanley Falls, would you go there? Would you go there and just whitewater raft off of it?
He was by the city that he called Stanleyville.
That's fucking stupid. That's the whitest man thing ever. Just like, I'm just gonna go and name everything after me. Oh, I'm important.
No longer
I
called
was
Stanleyville.
born, and therefore I'm important. Jesus Christ.
Maybe you ever think he just had a cool name and it just
No,
applied
his
to a lot
name
of
was
things?
super plain.
So Stanleyville is now called Kisangani.
Okay.
Then he traveled, from where he traveled on 1,000 miles of navigable waterway until he reached more cataracts after...
You're not even talking about his boat. I don't care about any of this. I want to know what kind of boat. Did he have a boat? What color was the boat? Did it have like a battering ram on the end of the boat? These are the things that the people care about. The naval craft.
It was a Huck Finn raft.
It's just a bunch of fucking logs tied together. That would make him 1,000% cooler.
But when they reached the cataracts or rapids and stuff, that was after Stanley Pool.
Stanley Pool.
Jesus, it's no longer called
Christ.
Stanley Pool. They seem to have stripped Stanley of all his names. It's Pool Malibo now.
What did Stanley do that made everybody not want to call all of that shit Stanley anymore? Was it just like a total lame loser?
Let me give you a couple quotes of his.
Oh God, they're gonna probably be like, "I'm important because I was born, me."
It is not about Belgian colonies. It is about establishing a new state that is large as possible and about its governance. It should be clear that the project there be no question of granting the Negroes the slightest form of political power. That would be ridiculous. The whites who lead the post have all the power.
Okay, so this guy was a piece of shit.
Also said, only by proving that we are superior to the savages, not only through our power to kill them, but through our entire way of life, can we control them as they are now in their present stage. It is necessary for their own well-being even more than ours. That's the kind of guy he was.
Okay, so I take back what I said earlier. That is the most white man shit.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And like you said, I didn't know any of this stuff when I grew up. It was always just the guy that found Livingston. I never knew anything about this kind of person he was.
Should just probably assume that all the white dudes in history were bad.
Yeah, but I mean, Livingston wasn't. He wanted to end slavery.
Well, he died by possibly lying.
This guy wanted to basically control a large portion of Africa by
he still wanted
the people that lived there.
He still wanted a large portion of Africa to be controlled by white men.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you know what's easier than fixing the problem of slavery is just not enslave people. Yeah, it's just... Is that a tautological argument?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about King Leopold II.
Was he also a piece of shit?
He's the worst he's one of the worst people in history.
Oh, well, okay, give me the Sesame Street version so I don't go home and kill myself.
Well, we'll take a couple things in there, there's this city called Kinshasa, which was formerly called Leopoldville. These guys all named everything after themselves.
Christ.
Yeah.
You're so uncreative.
You know the book Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, the one that Apocalypse Now is based off of? That was about this area of Africa, Congo. So a couple interesting things about Stanley is that he was born in England, but he immigrated to the U.S. in 1858.
Because England wasn't evil enough for him, so he had to go someplace where he could do more evil.
Well, he fought for the South in the Civil War.
Okay, yeah, I get it. He's a piece of shit.
However, he was captured as a prisoner, and they flipped him, and he fought for the North.
This
and he
guy
was in the
stands
Navy.
for nothing except... Did they promise him that he would get an acre to name Stanley Acre in exchange? This guy fucking sucks.
But
That's why they flipped him. That's because he's like, oh, whatcha? Oh, fucking what? And they said, yeah, whatever that is. We're just gonna turn your hat around and put this different jacket on you and orient your body in the opposite direction. Go, Stanley, go! And he went, oh, and he didn't even know what the fuck he was doing. He thought he was still fighting for the South.
He's like one of those guys in football where you get flipped around and start running the wrong way.
Yeah. Okay, does that happen a lot in football?
No, very rarely.
Okay, yeah, this guy sucks. He scores on his own end zone.
I'll go flip over to King Leopold now. So in 1877, King Leopold I, which is King Leopold, was in the encyclopedia, but King Leopold II, which was his son, wasn't there yet. He was king at the time, but hasn't done all these terrible things.
Did his father ever hug him, and would that have made a difference?
It was 1877. Nobody.
Okay, so
fathers didn't even know their kids.
Oh, this is true.
They learned about them when they were fully grown adult at 14.
And they were married and had kids of their own at 14.
Yes, exactly. I've seen baby pictures at the art museum, and they looked like men with baby bodies.
I love it when an otherwise well-trained artist has one just fatal weakness. Like, I cannot draw a cat, and so they just draw this fucking pillow demon and call it a cat. Yeah. And it's like the guy with the creepy man babies.
So the King Leopold, so the English ignored Stanley and Cameron, and they said about like putting things there to have treaties with the tribes, start like having actually trade with them. But King Leopold of Belgium was ruler of a small country, Belgium. And he was like, hey, this looks like something that I could out and out rule. I could just be the leader of all this stuff. So he wanted something bigger than Belgium.
Well,
So
Belgium is a perfectly nice country. How can you not be satisfied with Belgium? Fuck you.
well, the Belgian people did not know what King Leopold was doing. Did not.
Well, I think
Because
Belgium,
they're fine. Belgium is fine.
Belgium is perfectly fine. I think the Belgians really want you to know that French fries are actually Belgian. It's really important to them.
They are good.
Yeah. Thanks for the chocolate and waffles and beer.
That's the twice fried, 2 different kinds of oil for Belgian fries.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
Okay, well, I want that. Hey, you want to go to Belgium?
Well, might as well.
Okay. We gotta go and, like, you can piss on King Leopold's grave, and I'll go and eat Belgian fries and chocolate.
I'm going to look for all these towns called Stanley something and Leopold something. They're not going to be there because people thought they were awful people and got rid of all those names.
Oh, imagine that. Like, if someone's an awful person, you stop celebrating and venerating them, and then people don't put up a little bitch-ass fit about it.
Like you don't know who King Leopold was, right? You didn't learn about him growing up because he's an awful person.
I didn't. Okay, so like I didn't learn about King Leopold because he wasn't from the previous 50 years of America, and that's all you're allowed to learn in public school. It's called social studies. It's not even history. It's just social studies because then you can just talk about very whitewashed, sanitized versions of American history, like how all of the Indians were really happy about the Trail of Tears. It wasn't that bad.
Oh my God,
it was pretty great. We put that guy on the $20 bill. That's how great it was. Yeah, and we're not going to redo the $20 bill just because that guy was a fucking evil person, and we're just going to leave him on there forever.
It's not like if you get a new monarch, you can change your entire monetary supply, right?
You totally fucking can. And we have. I miss the $2 bill.
They still have the $2 bill.
I know, but they don't like make them and circulate them anymore.
Yeah, I think Courtney always asks for them. She always asks for $2 bills.
Okay, you can't just like bring up people's names that nobody but us is going to know who that is.
Wow.
Hi, Courtney.
So they found that the Congo River was really navigable. It's like had like 1,000 miles, and they had these cataracts. And they said if we can just put something around those cataracts, we could have this well into the heart of Africa. We could have like civilization. And King Leopold wanted to own it, but he didn't want to say, I want to own it. So he went a couple backwards ways. He proposed rest stations in the Congo for exploration and scientific studies, but he didn't do it with an English accent because he was Belgium.
Oh, wait, okay. So in Belgium they have like 3 official languages. Which one did he speak?
Probably Flemish.
Flemish?
And
Okay.
French.
The one that I can't even make fun of Flemish because I don't know any Flemish. I don't even know what that accent is. I apologize to the people of Flanders that I cannot make fun of you or your accent because of my American ignorance.
I think he goes, crikey.
Did you just take German and French and mix them together and add some sea salt? And is that anywhere near Flemish?
I think like German and French is English.
No, I mean, okay, yeah, kind of, but...
And Celtic.
Yeah. Celtic. No, that's different. Okay, if anyone listening speaks Flemish, like, well...
Do an
please, please phone in. Just call Stanley on his personal number and do an accent.
Or you could just...
We'll play it on the next podcast.
If you're listening and you're home and you're in the shower, just do a Flemish accent.
Why? Okay. You think people are listening to us in the shower?
Yes.
They're enjoying their shower beer and listening to us, and I don't like that. If you're listening to this in the shower, stop. Stop right now. Nope. Don't do that either. Stop immediately. Stop.
Well, maybe they listened to before the shower, and now they're just doing accents or practicing their accents for when they're useful in public.
Why do I get the feeling this is your shower routine?
I'm going back and talking about King Leopold.
Oh, okay.
So he convinced them to create these rest stations, and they created this Congo Free State that he was going to be in charge of. And it was 80 times larger than Belgium. So he became the ruler of this giant land now that was largely unexplored.
But highly exploited.
Unexploited. He was going to be the one that's going to exploit
he
them.
was going to be the initial
Yes,
exploiter.
He was the exploiter. He put Stanley in charge of all this stuff because Stanley had fame for finding some of this stuff, and so he thought, like, if I put him in charge, it'll make it all legit.
But then Stanley named everything after himself, and Leopold was like, hey, no.
He agreed with all this exploitation and stuff and thought it was better for the people to do those kind of things, so yes.
I mean, yeah, then people here are still like that today.
And this was a time that the rubber tire, so 1891 is when the rubber tire came out, and so there was a need for rubber, and so that was the main thing that he was exploiting from the people in this region. His men would arrive to collect rubber. The villagers would flee. He would ransack the village and take what he wanted. He would capture women as hostages, and the ransom would be the quota of wild rubber they had to provide.
Yeah, it's a very white man thing in history.
And it got really bad. So the population drop is estimated to be 1.5 to 13 million people. And it said a lot of it was caused by disease, but was exacerbated by the social disruption caused by the atrocities.
But reparations would be reverse racism, and that's unthinkable. Whoa!
This was like forced labor,
white man
forced labor
impression.
and forced by violence. They would, if somebody refused to participate, they would just raise the entire village and kill all the people that lived there.
It's just getting whiter in manner.
This is one of the worst people you're ever going to hear about.
It's getting so white manish.
Yeah, he had a police force called Force Publique, and they had to account for every bullet fired by bringing back the hand of a victim, because he was afraid they would use the bullets for hunting instead of the bullets for killing people. So he made them bring back the hand of a victim. Sometimes they went hunting and had to find a hand. So this is like one of the worst things, worst people that ever existed. But this is what he did in Central Africa. The Christian missionaries who were there discovered this, and the Belgian people discovered it. Everybody started learning about it, and he was forced to turn that administration over to Belgium as opposed to himself. So he lost his kingdom that was 80 times the size of his country.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing funny about that. There's no lighthearted thing.
Yeah,
this is just awful things that happen in this area. We happen to pick a topic that is one of the worst times in history of how people were exploited.
I mean, yeah, just anything that has to do with white people leaving their zone is gonna be a bad story.
Yeah.
It's all bad. How about the Mets? I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah. It's brutal. This is not.
Okay.
I mean, the only cool things was this. I learned about the Congo. It's 2 to 4 miles wide.
Okay.
I thought that was cool.
Between 2 and 4 miles. They couldn't get any more precise than that.
No, in areas. In some places
okay.
it's 4, some places it's 2. It's just this huge river. I mean,
yeah, that's a big ass river.
And for a long distance, it's one of the largest rivers as far as it says. Like 9 miles from the mouth of the river in the Atlantic, it's still fresh water because it just dumps so much water.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it just gets a lot of water there.
Did we ever discover the source of the Nile?
Yeah, they did.
Did Google Earth discover it in 2006?
I wrote that down in some place, but they discovered it not long after Stanley was there. Was another person that discovered it. But that's not really Central Africa. It wasn't part of this. It just happened to be in some of the similar areas. Like the source of the Balaghat looks like it's real close to the lake Tanizaki or something like that.
Okay.
Right? Just some of these names all these names were difficult for me to pronounce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to keep trying to pronounce them.
Yeah.
It's fine. We can move on.
You want to go to on a different topic?
I am really excited about this fucking building on Wikipedia. I'll bet the article is very stubby.
So the building is the American Republic Insurance Company headquarters building. Okay? It's an insurance company.
Is this a good time to beg for money? Send me cash. Send me cash. Next time you see me, just give me cash. Please.
An American Republic Insurance Company is not in Wikipedia. This building is, but the company is not.
Okay.
No longer exists. Well, it does exist. It was renamed. It's renamed to Wellabe. Wellabe.
What kind of insurance is it?
It's like for retirement insurance. So it's like Medicaid or Medicare assistance.
Does that mean it's
life
like
insurance?
Doesn't exist anymore or soon will not
No,
exist?
it's under Wellabe now. So Wellabe is a company, but Wellabe is not in Wikipedia either. This building is in Wikipedia, but the company that it houses is not.
What's so special about this building then? I'm so intrigued.
It's in the National Register of Historic Places.
Why?
Because it's historic. Built in 1865.
What's it called?
American Republic Insurance Company headquarters building.
Insurance company.
The architect was Gordon Bunshaft.
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 I'm trying to look up this fucking building. You're just like, his name was Bunshaft.
That was his name.
Stan,
Bunshaft.
Stan, that name is 6 trillion times cooler than Stanley. How could you spend so much fucking time on this douche who named random shit after himself when there's a guy named Bunshaft?
So I guess his parents had immigrated from Russia. They're Jewish immigrants from Russia.
That's beautiful.
And I'm sure when they came across, it was like Bunshaft or something like that.
Wait, okay, is this the building? Because it looks like a parking garage.
Yeah, that looks
Are you
like that
fucking
is a
kidding
building.
me?
That's the building.
What's historic about it? I mean,
it was a modernist building. So that's
modernist. Is that what we're calling American architecture, where it's all plain and ugly?
Yeah. That's one of the things. It's like modernist is it's innovative technology. So they only have windows on the. They have windows?
It looks like a prison. It looks like mostly a prison, and on one side there's offices.
Yeah. So the windows are only on 2 sides of the building, the north and the south side. The east and west doesn't have windows, and that was a significant thing because they were using the material they were able to use to make the building more functional. And it was
by making everybody sad because they get no sunlight at any point in the day.
It's minimalism, so no ornamentation. It's functionalism, so form follows function.
So that's just a bunch of buzzwords to mean we built this as quickly and as cheaply as possible, and that's why it's fucking ugly. I'm tired of my country being ugly. Like we're all depressed and miserable because nothing is beautiful here. Put an extra year into making the buildings pretty. I promise you'll be less mopey and depressed and my life is so sad.
So one other building that I'm sure you're familiar with that he created is the Ford World Headquarters, Ford building.
I'm going to look that up too to show the listeners.
It's got windows though.
Oh yeah. This building, the one with the big old logo on it. That building's mostly windows. If you throw a rock in there, it's fucked.
The rock is fucked, the building's fucked.
The building's fucked. I mean, the rock might be fucked too. You're not getting that rock back. This is a big ass building.
The building's keeping it.
It is huge, as they say.
I just think of like this guy was like Jewish immigrants, and when he came across to Ellis Islands and he was writing his name down, they're like, we can't say that. You're Bunshaft.
That's literally what they did at Ellis Island. He was like, oh.
You're Bunshaft. That's your name.
And he's like, thanks.
And he went home and told his buddies, call the guy Bunshaft.
He got Bunshafted at Ellis Island.
So I looked up the buildings in Des Moines. I looked a little bit about Des Moines. It's capital city, most populous city in Iowa. And
it's 11 people.
Des Moines means river of monks. And they claim that their city name is Niceville, USA.
Wait, what? They claim that their city that has a name is actually called Niceville.
That's what their city is. Like we're Motown.
Oh, okay.
They're considered Niceville, USA. Yeah.
I mean, that's really boring.
Yeah. This was a kind of a boring one. there's a couple things I took. You know the band Dead Milkmen from the 80s, punk band?
What?
The Dead Milkmen from the 80s.
Is that a band?
It's a punk band, yeah.
Okay.
They have a song called Stuart that predicted boomers. It's like, this song is they're talking about this trailer park guy's talking, this guy named Stuart, and he's saying all kinds of just it's like sit around with watching Mork and Mindy, have a couple of Corliss lights, and that's his life. And the reason I bring it up is because he's like, Stuart, I like you, but I don't think you know what the gays are doing to the city. Take any city with a large gay population, like Des Moines, Iowa.
Is that in the song?
It's in the song.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines.
You know what the gays are doing to the soil? And they're doing it with the aliens. They're trying to get gay Martians landing strips.
That is.
You got to listen to this song. It's called Stuart.
I can confirm that is part of the gay agenda, and it is fucking rad. It is. It's a beautiful endeavor, and we could really use more funding for this project. So please give me money. Look, all I wrote on this podcast agenda is beg for money. So I'm going to do my job. Give me money, and I'll use it for better things than exploiting the entire continent of Africa. You have my word.
And I did look up Iowa in 1877. I tried to look up Des Moines. Des Moines not there. It's a capital, but it's not there in Iowa.
At least Iowa made it in.
It's all agriculture. Nothing about insurance companies in 1870. The actual Iowa City is listed separately. It has its own article on Iowa City. It was the original capital until it was Des Moines, but it doesn't say that. It just says it was the original capital. And the population, this city made the encyclopedia was 5,914, but it's in the encyclopedia, and it's the only university in Iowa at the time, Iowa State. That was it. Yeah.
Okay.
The insurance, I looked that up. It says insurance is protection against the pecuniary consequences of certain accident to which men are liable, such as loss of property by fire or shipwreck, or the loss of future earnings through disablement or premature death.
This is the insurance company where the headquarters.
Yeah, that's just like insurance. It didn't say any insurance.
Oh, I was just talking about insurance.
Just insurance.
Shipwreck.
And then it was all like actuarial tables and calculations, and it's kind of boring. And so I looked up Iowa in 1980, and I recommend you read this, because if you read the 1980 article on Iowa in Encyclopedia Britannica, it basically says this is the most boring place on earth. It's like they don't do anything, there aren't any cities, the population is evenly spread out. It's like, it starts off, the popular image of Iowa, one of corn and hogs, flat prairies, and a conservative people, is not altogether incorrect. That's how it starts off. And it says 95% of the land is cultivatable, which is the largest in the U.S. 95% can be farmed. I don't know what the 5% is. It says there's no navigable rivers. The only two rivers are the Missouri and the Mississippi on the borders.
So I'm going to guess that the insurance does not cover shipwreck.
No, insurance covers shipwrecks. The maritime insurance, but
this
one does. This is like old people insurance. There was a Indian massacre again, Sioux Indian massacre. That was included.
Of fucking course there was, Stan.
It just looks like the most boring thing. It's, that's pretty much it. I looked up architecture in 1980 to see if there's anything about modernism, which is already, this building had already been built, and modernism was already a style after Art Deco, which was more ornamentation, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, Art Deco. It's fucking great. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Iowa looked like it's like everybody's just spread out. It's flat. It's yeah.
Hey, listeners, can I have $40 for Art Deco? I refuse to explain. I just need the money.
Why do you look like you have a headache?
Because everything that you talked about today was more depressing than exciting, except for that one cattle or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty great.
I thought that was pretty cool.
It's a pretty great animal. It looks like it would feed me for a very long time.
And that one, the deer that just looked like a fat deer.
I hate that you keep finding ugly deer and too many names for deer. There doesn't need to be this many kinds of deer, Stan. Like, are they at least delicious?
I'm reading about them. It's all I have. Like, just read stuff and like bring it up.
Well,
yeah.
Can we eat it?
I think you can eat pretty much anything except for the liver of a polar bear, because then you'd have too much vitamin A and it would kill you.
What an interesting factoid. What else liver can't I eat?
I don't know. I think that's the one. I don't know, maybe my other things. I'm sure there's things that you overeat could kill you, because, like the puffer fish, you can't eat the poisonous thing in a puffer fish.
Yeah, you have to clean that out very thoroughly. I have eaten puffer fish before, but I didn't die. So
you didn't eat the bad part.
Yeah, and they cleaned it properly, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. There's.
Never been attacked by a lion?
I mean, there was one time that I tweeted Hutchinson, like, "You're not that cool," and then he came to my house and punched me in the face. But other than that, it was a joke for Detroit. Nobody understands me. I'm alone in the universe.
Yeah, but your name's not Bunshaft, at least.
What a loss. No, I'm going to legally change my name to Bunshafter.
Then I'll change mine to Bunshaft Dust.
What a beautiful family. We're going to go to Iowa and stand outside this building and take a selfie and then immediately go back home.
I am going to Iowa this year. I'm going to ride my bike across Iowa.
I know that you're so excited about it, even though the encyclopedia just said it's so fucking boring there.
Well, but that's part of why it makes it easier, because it's flat. It's all downhill. Going from like western Iowa to eastern Iowa is all downhill. Mostly downhill.
You're going to take your sprinting tires and just... Zoom.
I'm taking my looking bike. I'm not taking my riding bike.
You're taking your looking bike? Then how are you going to ride through Iowa if you're taking your looking bike?
I'll put it on top of my car and look at it while I'm like driving.
That's going to be the most boring fucking... I'm not coming on this trip with you.
It's just going to be corn. We're going to go say, hey, what'd you guys ride by today? Corn. What else? Corn.
Corn. If you set Iowa on fire, would the entire state become popcorn?
Oh.
Should we try it?
Yes, I think that's a good thing.
Do we just admit to arsoning Iowa?
Can we bring like
podcast?
Salt and butter?
Yes. Okay. So you just bring like shitloads of gallons of salt, sea salt, and all the butter. I mean, there's probably cows in Iowa. Just turn those into butter.
Yeah.
Just turn the entire state delicious, and then you know what? It will not be boring. People will come to the popcorn state.
I recommend reading that, because it is like, yeah, this is boring. It's weird reading it, because you're looking for them to say like, oh, and it's got this, and it's got, like, as you read Wikipedia, it's like, oh my God, it's like you got all this cultural stuff, all these things. But in 1980, it was like, yeah, the people are just kind of spread out evenly. They all own a farm.
They all own a farm. It's like, has anybody told white men that instead of going to, in big air quotes here, explore Africa and China, you could just go explore Iowa because you don't seem to know a lot about Iowa. Like, there's nothing there except corn, and everybody owns a farm. I feel like there's a couple of Iowans that don't own a farm.
Yeah, they end up playing football for Detroit.
Thank you for your service.
I hope the people from Iowa don't hate us because I'm gonna be riding my bike there. And
I know
I'll be an easy target.
you're gonna get fucking lynched in Iowa. Come on.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying from observation. I'm saying what I read about it.
Corn on a stick, and they're just going to beat you to death with that.
So we tried to eat it.
Yeah. Just catch it with your teeth on your looking bike. You're on a bicycle, so they're just probably going to like launch a corn spear through your spokes.
Yeah.
You're gonna go over the handlebars.
Again?
Oh, fuck, and then you'll land in corn.
Kind of what it says. It's just like, hey, I don't know what it looked like. I don't know, because in 1800s it probably wasn't all cultivated yet, but now it's just cornfields. There's whatever natural was there is all gone.
Well, I hope that you find something interesting in Iowa just to prove Encyclopedia Britannica wrong. You'll be like, it'll bring back like a photo album with 80 photos, and 79 of them will be corn, but one of them will be something really interesting.
Yeah. Me wrecking with somebody sticking a corn cob in my spokes.
It's a candid photo.
It's perfect.
Well, Stan, is this the part of the podcast where we beg for money? Hey.
Beg for money the entire podcast.
Oh, okay, well, I need more because we made $0 today. We're supposed to give like a shout out to the No.Vi or Number 6 Cafe. They let us record here. That was pretty cool.
It was.
Yeah. Thanks No.Vi or Number 6. I'm not really sure which it is. Cafe.
It's Novi or Novi or Number 6.
It's a double meaning. It's very nice. I don't know which one is canonical. But yeah, come buy a coffee here. Send me money for free. We may or may not have merch someday. And I don't know, I have like a bunch of interesting ideas that I wrote in this notebook when I was stone cold sober, but you wouldn't know based on these notes.
These are the ideas when you're sober?
Yeah, I have all these ideas that normally you would have when you were very high on substances, but nope, just stone cold sober Hal, writing things like, idea, start stealing art from AI, paint people with weird-ass clothes and the wrong number of fingers. I think I was mad about...
That's what happens. You're just documenting.
Well, no, because there was a point when all the artists were mad about the AI people stealing their art to, machine learn the AI. And so I wrote a suggestion that might make them feel better, which is steal art from AI. It's just paint weird people with too many fingers or not enough fingers.
So isn't that the multiplicity thing? Wasn't that the Michael Keaton movie where he cloned himself and each copy got worse?
I don't care.
Because it seems like if AI starts copying AI, it's going to be worse.
That was also an episode of like Rick and Morty or something, right?
I'm Rick.
You are Rick. This is like the stupider clones. What show is that? I don't know. I don't watch TV anymore. Buy our merch, but until then... I guess I should plug... I'm going to start a business, so you should all buy my business stuff. More on that next time. I think we're out of time here. I think they would like us to leave their cafe.
Okay, is it time? I didn't realize that.
Nobody's come to yell at us yet, but...
we talk about our topics for next week.
You do that, and...
From 1877, Volume 4, BOC to CAN, page 72. From 1980, Volume 8, Geranalis through Hume, page 186. And I'll have to get the Wikipedia one up here. Hold on.
Please, Wikipedia. Don't fuck us this time, Wikipedia. Just make us talk about how boring something is.
Wikipedia is always the craziest topic.
Come on.
Oh, here we got Charles S. Zane.
Another white guy.
He was a American judge, one of those white bearded guys. With
Okay, well now
mustache.
you're spoiling it. I bet that there's like 3 sentences about this guy, so you probably don't want to spoil it. You're gonna have to really fucking try to make this interesting, aren't you?
I just hope there's a Bunshaft in there someplace.
If there isn't, I'm done. Bunshaft. If your name was Bunshaft, what would you name your kids?
Give me some.
Give me some Bunshaft. How about like Frosted?
It's like that Guar cow had the frosted tip. He's got the frosted Bunshaft.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, that was more interesting than Iowa, according to 1980. Stan.
Yes, Hal?
Did we make any money today?
No, but I think
Fuck.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay. Stan's gonna set up a place for you to throw us money, and in the meantime.
Do we still have malls? Is there still mall fountains? You just collect the change from the mall fountain?
Yeah, throw a quarter at Stan, see what happens.
Good. All right. Goodbye, Hal.
Goodbye, Stanley. And don't you fucking name this podcast the Stanley Podcast.
I won't. Because it just changed later on.
Yeah,
None of those places are there. Stanleyville's not there. The greatest name for a city.
Stan, shut the fuck up.
All right.